Moi turyści polscy, ale to jest twój problem. Ty jesteś YouTuber, kurw swoje rzeczy i wypialaj z tego. Rozumiesz?
When a Polish tour guide starts to say "kurwa" to me, I know things are going down south. Hi there, I'm the honest guide of Prague, and most likely you're watching this video because you don't know the city and you want to be guided around. And somebody who calls himself honest might be just the right help, right? And hey, I will do my best. We have been doing this show for 10 years and I try to show you good places, try to keep you away from the bad places. And if there would ever be a situation that you would pay me and I would guide you through the city in person, I would damn make sure you will not fall into a tourist trap. And that situation I just described is something I have experienced right here just yesterday. The exchange office you see behind me has very bad rates, high commissions. So if you exchange your currency for our currency, you will lose almost 1/3 of it. So if I walk by and I see a tourist deciding should I change, should I not, I sometimes say, man, don't change it here, just pay with your card in Prague, it's fine. And when I walked past yesterday, I saw a huge group right at the exchange office. And I was like, whoa, they're really doing some business today. And then I noticed that members of the group had earpieces and had those little walkie-talkies that you get when you're guided by a tour guide in our city. So at that moment, I was like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? So I talked to one of the tourists, it was a Polish group, and I said, why are you here? Where's your guide? Did somebody tell you to change money here? And they all pointed to their guide that was standing across the street. Therefore, I went to talk to the guide. I mean, we're basically colleagues, right? Well, now I thought it's only gonna get explained quite quickly, but the situation actually only complicated as I was talking to the guide. First of all, he denied that he would send any tourists to the exchange office. Okay, but he said, you know, I send them to the toilet that is right next door, the bathroom, to use it because they needed that. I was like, okay, but that place is cash only and they only take Czech crowns and euros. And if your Polish group only has Polish zloty, therefore they're kind of forced to use the exchange office. And to make the things worse, I know that toilet, that bathroom. I have never been there because just the entrance looks horrible and I would never go there. And you have to pay €1 to use the restroom. And I, as a local honest guide, know places that are clean, where you don't have to pay and they are free.
Clean, free, and right next door.
And if you hired me as a guide and I would walk you around the city, I'd make sure to take you to that place to have your number 1 or number 2. I believe this place deserves more of our attention because I would also like to describe to you how badly it smells here, like a dirty toilet. And I know this place. I've never been here to actually use it, but I've been here when I was chasing the money scammers because they usually hide here in this weird alley, which is also proved in one of the reviews of this lovely toilet place. In the meantime, as I'm talking to the guy, I still see that huge group of his tourists exchanging the money. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, each of them is losing money. Stop this. And I can see the guy has the microphone, so that's why I'm sort of pushy, and eventually he does tell them not to change money there.
Nie pieniędzy. Jeśli ktoś nie szedł na toaletę, tylko szedł do wymiany pieniędzy, to proszę nie wymieniać na pieniędzy.
Ne, já jsem to úplně v šoku, protože vy jste licencovaný průvodce.
And you may think now that this guide is getting some sort of kickback for sending the tourists either to the exchange office or to the restrooms. I don't know. I have no proof of that, so I can absolutely not say that he does. I hope not.
Ale to jest twój problem. Ty jesteś YouTuber.
Yep, I am a YouTuber, and what us YouTubers also sometimes do is we interrupt our videos with sponsored messages, which is happening right now, but bear with me. Today's sponsor of our video is Saily, which is an app you get on your phone, and when you roam, travel, you don't have to roam expensively. You get a local eSIM card through this app, so you avoid ridiculous charges that otherwise you may face. Get Saily on your phone, select whatever destination you're going to, ideally do it prior to your trip, so when you land, you can use your phone just like here at home. And that's exactly what I'm doing when I travel, for example, right now here in the United States. I'll link the app below the video, and if you use the code HONESTGUIDE on checkout, you will get 15% off. So thank you, Sally, enjoy your sailing, and let's go back to the video.
What do you mean you cannot look after them? They paid you to look after them. That is the definition of a tour guide. Somebody pays you to look after him, to describe things, to explain things. He's in a foreign environment, so he pays someone to help. And you did exact opposite. I mean, I didn't spend the rest of the tour with you, so I don't know how it went further out. Because if you think that as a guide you're being paid to know when the bridge was built, well, you can find that online. The local knowledge is what they pay you for.
Tak jste průvodce, tak to snad víte.
Ale nežujete na mě.
Já na vás nežu, já jsem úplně v šoku, že jim to neřeknete. Já nemluvím polsky, takže já nevím.
Já to říkám, že
Tam stojí teď vaše...
The frustration in my voice when I'm talking to the guy only comes from the fact that the tourists have no faith or trust in me when I told them not to change money, but in this dude. Therefore, I'm really trying to convince him to stop that from happening. And my frustration sort of moves him to be angry at me, which I kind of understand. That's where we get to the kurva part.
Before we continue, here's a quick introduction to something that some of our foreign viewers may not be familiar with, and that is the word kurva that will be used in the following scene. It is used in Poland a lot and in some other Slavic-speaking countries, and you use it when you're very upset with something or someone. So instead of saying, "Fuck you, you piece of shit, scumbag, dipshit, go fuck yourself," you just simply say, kurva. Kind of sums it up. The literal translation is a whore. But I'm sure Polish people can help me with all the other meanings down in the comments below.
Ale to jest twój problem. Ty jesteś youtuber, kurwa, rób swoje rzeczy i wypierdalaj. Rozumiesz? Gówno mnie to obchodzi.
Máte z toho klípek nebo?
Pierdol się. Wypierdalaj.
Co nerozumím?
No, rozumiesz, kurwa.
Nerozumím, kurva.
No
Vy
to-
říkáte kurva?
Widzisz? Ja? Sledujesz to? Why would somebody enter on a red light? Well, the reason is they're in the tourist group and they just follow what everyone else does. And this, I believe, is the problem of tourist groups, because suddenly you're like, you have no rights, your brain was left somewhere where you got your guide because you just blindly follow them. And you only see people walking here on this crosswalk on a red light when they're part of a group. They're just like, tram's not gonna kill me, I'm part of a group. Now, you watching this are most likely a tourist and you want to have the best guide. But how do you pick him? What is a good or best guide? Is it the guy that knows the year when this was built, or who built it, or what is that statue, or this one? Or is it someone who has the local knowledge, where's the best coffee, or something like that? Well, in the city of Prague, a guide must have a license. And that is something you can see hanging on their necks. And you can even see it on the neck of the guy that I talked to. So he has a license, therefore he had to pass a test. And we actually found a few questions that you need to answer to pass that. And here we have a sample of the test that you can find online, so you can prepare for the final exam where you will get stamped. That's the official guide. Now, I've been doing some guide business myself on this YouTube channel for the past 10 years, and I've never been this nervous, because let's see if I can actually pass this test. The first crowned Czech king was Vratislav I, Vratislav II, Sobislav II. Vladislav II? Do you know? You don't know? And I was wrong. It's Vratislav II. Charles IV died in the year 1358, 1368, 1378. I would guess, well, I'm guessing 1357 is starting of the bridge, so he didn't pass, he 68. And we're both wrong. He died in 1378. Wow, this is really going smooth, man. High five, Honza. Really good job, both of us. The first defenestration of Prague took place during... So well, I wasn't cheating at all. Let's move on. The statue of Saint Wenceslas in Wenceslas Square in Prague was created by, and I happen to know this, Josef Václav Myslbek. Ding, 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 ding. Honza, what is the area of the Czech Republic? Is it 78,000, 49,000, or 88,000 square kilometers? 78? And that's correct. Did you guess?
No.
You know it? Okay. This is an interesting one. I wonder how that's related to Prague, but you as a guide should know that. What is 86 Fahrenheit in Celsius? I'm not gonna give you, the tips because that will help you a lot. Just give me a number, Honza.
24.
24 is a good guess, but totally wrong. Well, I thought it wrong too, man. That's pretty funny. That's pretty wrong. Fahrenheit's just wrong. The options were 20, 30, 40. I thought it was 20, it's 30. And I didn't know this despite going to US like every year. Most of the other questions are in the same rank. How many people in our country are over 60 years? How long we vote the president for? How many senators are there in the Senate? No, there's one special one. The categories of guides are defined by the International Technical Standard, EN 15565, ISO 9001, 2001 or EN 13809. Oh, you don't know answer to that one? I guess no guiding for you, buddy. And if you thought this question was bizarre, how about, in what order is a cold appetizer served? Before the soup, after the hot appetizer? There are obviously many, many more questions that do make sense. There are hundreds of them. And to be fair, when you're applying to be a guide, you also go through a verbal test. In other words, somebody will talk to you and listen to what you actually have to say in regard of these questions. But what I wanted to show here is that it is very easy to give certain questions to someone like me or someone else to not pass the test. And I'm not saying anybody does that. I'm just saying that it can happen. But also, most of these questions are easy to Google. I mean, we can just take these questions, hand them out to ChatGPT and be like, can you answer these? Yes. The question is ChatGPT a good guide? No. It knows absolutely nothing about our city. It knows literally zero, but it can answer all these questions. In any way, I'm not saying to get rid of this. I think this is a good system that we have. I'm just saying that if somebody like the guy we saw in the beginning of the video has that little, license on his neck, necessarily does not mean that he's the best, which obviously, as we could see, he was not. Now, you may be asking how to find the best guide, because that's what you want the good guide. I don't know. I've never researched this really, and now researching it, we see that there's different ways to a good guide, but I can guarantee you one thing. If the group is gonna be large that you'll be in, and I'm talking more than 20 people and so, it will never be good. It cannot be good. You cannot get to places. You cannot see certain sites when you're in this huge group. And I understand some people cannot travel differently than in this huge group, but you're not gonna have a good time. I'm sorry. But maybe give me your experience. If you were in Prague or anywhere around the world and you had a guide, what was it like? All my bad memories from guides are with large groups. Never had a good time. But let's go back to the very beginning of the video, where this guy knew nothing about the exchange office, despite the fact that he was licensed. We know a lot about that. If you guys need a map where to exchange money, it's for free available on our Patreon. There's other maps that you can also check out. But again, be careful what people tell you. I hope that the guy from the beginning at least had, since he was licensed, the history knowledge, and he knew the facts that he should know. Unfortunately, we have even filmed guides that not only don't have the license, don't have the local knowledge, they just don't have anything. And unfortunately, they're often quite visible. Remember this?
Okay, 4 is the big library, 5 is a castle.
Big
Library.
Yeah, but big, what was the name of it?
The big library.
Oh,
in
it's just
Europe.
big?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you will not pick that guide, but rather a good guide for your tour. I'm the honest guide, not licensed to guide you around, so please don't ask for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. And I'm going to teach you at the end how to say exam in Czech, to pass an exam. Exam is zkouška. Zkouška is an exam. Projít zkouškou, pass the exam.